My name is Sterling Sanguin. I've worked here for just a little over a year now. I got hired in the fiber line department as an operator there.
My name is Kent Milford and I work in fiber handling. I run heavy equipment in the yard.
I'm Tom Riando. I'm one of the shift superintendents here.
My name is Jane Pascal. I am a safety technician.
My name is David Coach and I am a pulp finishing technician.
My name's Brandon Gorgachuk. I'm an E&I technician. Been here for about a year and a half.
My name is Sean Reese and I'm a safety tech here at Mercer Peace River.
My name is Bryn Keddy. I'm a safety tech at Mercer Peace River.
The decisions you make are the ones that may mean you have a life-altering injury or death, or you get to continue on this journey.
So when I left there, that was the first time I wore my seatbelt. Been wearing it ever since.
Safety means I get to go home at the end of the night or at the start of the day, whenever that is.
There's two types of people. There's people that care about things more than people, and those who care about people more than things. And I'm definitely the latter.
I wanted to be part of the solution. I wanted to be the person that inspect those berms and inspect the walls of a mine. That's when I started to orient my career into safety.
Having a operator in our area fall in the dryer and having to be rescued, that hit home just how quickly something can happen in our area where you never think something's going to happen. Man, it got me to join ART.
Safety means everything. It means that you can go home to your family and you can come to work to your other family. It's everything. Without safety, you got chaos. With chaos, you have utter disaster around every corner.
Safety means that we can all return, something we do so we can return back to our communities the same as when we left.
It means looking out for my team, my friends, colleagues. Safety's hit me pretty hard. I was a supervisor back in the day and I was looking after a crew, and there was lots of times where people didn't follow safety rules and you had to be that guy to step in there and kind of explain to people when they were doing something wrong, even though they thought they were doing the right thing. Could have got somebody else hurt, not just themselves. So safety's it's a huge factor in my life. I think that, you know what I mean, when I drive away from here and I look at that sign just outside of the site that says your reward for working safe is coming back tomorrow.
Well, safety's everything to me, and especially in a work environment like this, it's absolutely paramount that you come to work ready for work, fit for work, and do your best to go home at the end of the day safe to your family. That's everyone's goal, in my opinion.
Safety, me going home and seeing my kids every night.
Safety to me is thinking about my family, thinking about my boy who is an electrician and Every day he goes to work, and I am hoping he understands the hazards he's dealing with. I'm hoping that he can assess those hazards, the risks, and ultimately come home well.
When I was younger, the province was starting to bring in seatbelt legislation. So safety has progressed quite a ways since I was young and bulletproof. One of my friends had an auto accident prior to seatbelt legislation coming into effect. Through that accident, he became a quadriplegic. So when things like that occur, there's facilities that kind of show you how to utilize what you have remaining. So my friend had been moved over to a 4-story facility, unfortunately, but 4 floors of people learning to live with their outcomes. And in this room with my friend was 3 other individuals, so it was a room of 4. And my first time seeing my friend and having a talk with him, and it was kind of challenging because there's 3 other people there. There was another family, kitty corner. So the husband had also had paralysis, and their daughter and his wife, the mom, was visiting, and the young girl, she was trying to get away, and when I turned around, she was hanging onto her father's legs, who was sitting in a wheelchair, crying and asking Daddy, like, "Why won't you hug me? Don't you love me?" And he couldn't reply because of his emotions. And his wife had to explain that, yes, Daddy loves you, his arms don't work. And so when I left there, that was the first time I wore my seatbelt. Been wearing it ever since.
I've pulled people out of conveyors that got sucked in all the way up to their shoulders. Didn't know about it, but I was above them. I could hear them scream. Had to run down there and assess the situation and grab an impact socket and drop the pillow block and the bearing to get his hand out, which eventually, like, the conveyor had tripped out on him and stuff. He was okay, but you see a lot of things, and I mean, I haven't been in the work field for very long, but you definitely see a lot of things that make you, stop and think about people around you, and anything can happen.
This event that made me change my perspective, I would say that it was when I was a firefighter, and it was one of my first fatalities. There was, and this is a small town where I was a firefighter, and there was a few graduates that were celebrating being newly graduated from grade 12. They were playing in this rock quarry, and one of the kids had just made a wrong decision, maybe made a wrong move, and took a fall off of a ledge, a sand pile, and fell and broke his neck ultimately and passed away. I remember vividly going to that call and giving this patient at the time, young man, a CPR, and after he was taken away, I remember going home, and it was a night shift, going home and coming into the house and then going directly to my kids' rooms and opening up the door of their room and looking inside and seeing them sleeping and thinking, the decisions you make are the ones that may mean you have a life-altering injury or death, or you get to continue on this journey.
When I was working here taking samples in Fiberline, I even had an exposure incident with Clo2, and that was my eye-opener in this place for the first time as to just how fast a safe environment can become dangerous. So that was an eye-opener for me. Nothing came of it, like no injuries or anything, but it was an eye-opener just to make sure that you're following your safety protocols, policies, and procedures, and doing everything to protect yourself and others while you're here.
I had a friend fell asleep behind the wheel and rolled his vehicle and died when I was a teenager. That was kind of life-changing for me. I think we've all probably had friends that have died along the way, and it's changed us how we are as as people. And at work, I've seen several close calls that change the way you think about safety. Definitely, you want to improve. You want to make sure that everybody goes home safe every day and comes to work safe every day.
I was working in a mine in the Yukon Territory, and a berm gave in with a whole truck on the back, and the whole truck sank, almost flipped over the berm into the lake where the driver would have been killed. And it could have been me. I was driving a whole truck there. I could have been the next guy there. The investigation found out that they should never have been dumping material there. Reason being is you're not supposed to dump straight into a lake or a pond, a settling pond. And there was some shortcut, and that changed my take on safety. I wanted to be part of the solution.
At the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to be there for you when trouble arises and everyone's running away. They're the people that are going to be running there. So they're a backbone for our safety department, and just what they do, and it's much needed. It's very much respected, and it eases one if you're ever in a emergency situation. That help is around the corner.
Well, it's the most important thing to have. Without your safety response team, how are you going to deal with or properly address a safety situation, an emergency situation where you have to get somebody quickly to the hospital? Without them, our lives are in jeopardy. And it's probably the most important position in the mill.
I want to be a member of a team that can help out another team member in need. And I think that every incident we have had here at Peace River, it's that same feeling within the membership, is we just help someone else. If that is the only takeaway from being an ERT member, is that day I helped, and that will stay with you for the rest of your life.
It's the team that can help save a life. no matter when, during a night shift on the weekend, when we're a small team, we can have a group of dedicated, highly trained emergency response team members that have the ability to make the difference in someone's life and maybe save the life of a team members.
Having an emergency response team is important for the fact that it gives you that security blanket that if something does happen, that you have qualified team members to be able to get you out of that situation.
I think if they're the same as me, I think if they care about people more than things, they should join ERT. Doesn't matter how much experience they have. If you care about people, you should be part of the solution.
We're a smaller team, weekends, night shifts. Weekends or night shifts are when we're even more distracted. We need to look after each other so we can get back to our communities, the people who we call community. So if we can all do that for each other, we're stronger for it. It is a very big commitment, but we're taking on a lot of commitment running the processes too, right? Take a huge commitment being the leader of the emergency response team.
For all the unexpected things that happen every day, you know, you can never pinpoint the time or location that an accident's going to happen. I can guarantee you that, you know what I mean, you need an ERT team, especially one that's alert and ready to go when something bad happens, because it happens all the time, everywhere. Whether it's on your drive to work or it's, you know what I mean, in the coffee room, someone's choking. There's definitely a million hazards out there, and if we can, you know what I mean, look out for one another and find 500,000 of them, that's cutting the risk in half. So it's definitely really, really important to have an ERT, you know what I mean? I'm thankful for them every day. I'm not on it, but too many things happen in a day. The more people that are on an ERT, the better.